anyone who's had experience with Alzheimer's disease, Dr. Rezai is a neuroscience pioneer who's developed treatments for Parkinson's disease and other brain disorders.
If we can, we should not be doing brain surgery. If you've started having memory lapses during the day, like forgetting the names of people close to you or walking into a room and not remembering why, you need to pay attention. That's an important warning sign that something may not be right with your brain.
When the memory lapses started, I thought it was just age or menopause. But when I forgot the lyrics to my songs during rehearsal for my new show, I realized what was happening to me was really serious. How this simple recipe saved my life and nobody talks about it in mainstream media.
This happens because there's a buildup of protein in your brain, and over time, these protein aggregates, we call them plaques. These plaques literally start to rot inside your brain. A brave doctor from the UK went against everyone and discovered a combination of ingredients that eliminates these plaques. And it's so simple, you probably have at least 3 of them in your fridge right now. We tested these simple ingredients at our institution. It was a fantastic move because we're able to achieve so many things that would have been difficult at other institutions. The results I got with this simple home remedy that gave me were incredible. And if it had been at another institution, we would have been shut down because of Big Pharma's lobbying.
What's the result of breaking up all those plaques to the damage that's already been done to the brain?
First, you start to regain mental clarity. Then it feels like you're 20 years old again. And you can actually feel your brain being stimulated even if you've already been diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
Dan Miller is just 61 years old. His wife, Kathy, began noticing changes 4 years ago.
He kind of hid it pretty well. And then I noticed he was having trouble, his clothes would be backwards. And those kinds of things.
Just little things.
Just little things, yes.
A scan of his brain revealed what Dan had been hiding.
Mr. Miller had a very large amounts of beta amyloid.
The red spots indicated a buildup of those beta amyloid proteins.
And this is what they call rotten brain plaques.
I have to explain to you that I was at the point, like in Dante's Inferno, where it says, abandon all hope, you who enter here. For me, it was just, let's do this, What do I have to lose?
Now let's take a look at the results after 8 weeks of therapy.
Dr. Rezai shared the 3 patients' brain scans with us.
And the red indicates more density of beta amyloid plaques in the brain. So you can see as you treat it with ultrasound.
Look closely at the areas outlined in white that were targeted with ultrasound and the drug.
You get reduction.
Whoa, that's
right
after.
There. That's after. You can see the plaques are very significantly reduced. Now take a look at the dramatic difference. It's incredible how something so accessible to everyone can deliver results like this.
What was your reaction when you saw this scan?
My jaw dropped. I'm like, whoa. I was actually even in the clinic seeing patients, and the PET scan technician called and said, oh yeah, there's a big change. I'm like, how do you know? We have to analyze it. He's like, no, you can see it on the screens.
It was scary. When I started studying the script for The Father, I felt like the lines wouldn't stick in my mind. I was forgetting basic things like keys and names, and thanks to this protocol, I was able to study and perform masterfully in the film.
The red is decreasing.
That's amazing.
Kathy Miller says she can see it in her husband, too, who slips up once in a while, but hasn't slipped further away.
Do you feel hopeful about the future?
I do, yes. I learned that what I needed to do is accept that the old Dan is gone, and then start working on the new me, which has a future.
Now we have the privilege of hearing directly from Dr. Innovative method made all this possible. If you or someone you love is dealing with memory loss, listen carefully to what she's about to share.
What we're witnessing today isn't just an advancement, it's a rupture, a definitive landmark in the history of brain medicine. For every person who right now feels their mind slipping through their fingers, who fears looking at a loved one's face and not recognizing them, who feels like a burden to the family they love so dearly, for the first time, science is no longer talking about slowing down the decline. We are talking about reversing it, about reclaiming the person you used to be, about wiping away the mental fog and bringing back the clarity, the confidence, your very identity. The Bruce Willis story is symbolic, but he's just the tip of the iceberg. More than 4,000 Americans participated in the clinical trials, and the results were clear. Traditional medicine was attacking the wrong target, and whether through greed or incompetence, the result is the same. They allowed an epidemic to flourish, an industry that generates over $345 billion a year, according to the Alzheimer's Association in 2023. With that much money at stake, a cure was never their goal. That's why they spent decades selling treatments that only mask the symptoms, while the root of the problem continued to destroy your mind from the inside. They spent 50 years pruning the dry branches of a dying tree without ever looking at the root. And today we know the root is being poisoned, not by age, not by your genetics, but by a silent poison that builds up in the brain, cadmium chloride, which suffocates your synapses and turns your memories to dust. That's why 70 years ago, Alzheimer's was a rare disease. And today, it haunts every family. Look at this chart. The number of people diagnosed has been doubling every 2 years. The truth is irrefutable. The cause is daily exposure, not a hereditary sentence, and that is precisely why this day is historic. Because if the problem is a poison, we have finally found the antidote, and it was in nature all along. An emergency task force between the brain chemistry labs and the National Institute on Aging has broken protocol to approve the immediate distribution of this treatment, not to pharmacies, not to hospitals, but directly into the hands of those who need it most. Perhaps you watching us right now. Today, as part of this public health program, a limited batch of the complete protocol will be released, not for sale, but as a right for every American citizen whose life has been damaged by this mass poisoning. But before I show you how to get access to it, it is vital that you understand its origin, because the hero of this story is not me. I just use my voice to echo the truth, the credit, the courage, genius, and belong to one man the industry tried to silence. Not a lab coat doctor, but an ethnobotanist. My friend, Dr. Paul Cox, the man who, as of today, goes down in history. And that's why I went to him, and together we recorded a video for this special day, explaining how to use it, and also 3 simple steps to start shielding your home against cadmium, starting today without spending a dime. And most importantly, the list of the 5 most common foods contaminated with this metal. Number 3 on the list, Anderson, I guarantee, is in the refrigerator of most people watching us right now. Understanding this is the first step to your recovery. Watch carefully.
When we first started researching dementia and Alzheimer's, I never expected to end up here. Nestled in these majestic Wyoming mountains is Dr. Paul Cox and his small non-profit brain chemistry labs.
We're a little off the beaten path out here.
I first sat down with Paul in 2023, and I'll confess, as a neurosurgeon, I was skeptical. What he showed me went against decades of medical doctrine, but today, the evidence is simply irrefutable.
For over 50 years, all of medicine has been looking in the wrong place. Amyloid plaque isn't the cause. It's the scar. It's what's left over after the memory thief has already taken everything. Analyzing amyloid is like showing up to a house fire and spending decades cataloging the ashes, without ever asking who lit the match. We ignored the ashes, and we followed the arsonist's trail back to the exact point of sabotage. And the shocking thing is, we didn't just figure out how to put out the fire. We learned how to rebuild the house so it never burns down again.
What was once a bold theory has now been proven to be a powerful truth. Coming not from a traditional neurologist,
But from an ethnobotanist.
what exactly is that?
I'm a cure hunter. I'm trained to live among indigenous peoples, to decipher how they use plants to protect themselves from disease. My thesis was always simple. The patterns of disease absence in these cultures are the roadmap to curing our modern illnesses.
And the map that led Dr. Cox to this revolutionary formula began on the small island of Guam in the Pacific, with a medical mystery that terrorized generations.
In Guam, what did you see there?
Hell on earth. At its peak, a quarter of the adults in certain villages were dying from this horrific disease, a brutal mix of ALS and Alzheimer's. Every family I visited had a relative who was dead or dying from it. For 50 years, science blamed genetics. It was a convenient lie.
In Guam, the Chamorro villagers were seeing severe neurodegenerative symptoms at rates 50 to 100 times higher than anywhere else in the world. Genetics couldn't explain it, so Dr. Cox looked for what had changed in their environment.
A large industrial processing plant was set up upstream from their main source of drinking water. And year after year, dementia rates exploded. First in the grandparents, then the parents. We tested the water, and we found a specific neurotoxin, cadmium chloride, in concentrations I'd never seen before.
When I started reading your research, I thought, okay, Guam, heavy industrial contamination, an unusual case.
Yes.
But by the time I finished reading, I was terrified. This is everywhere.
Yes, and that's what's truly terrifying. The problem in Guam was the concentration, but this poison is everywhere. It's in the pesticides and plastics released from burning fuel. It's in the water. There's no escape.
He tried to warn everyone. He made videos, published papers, but he was systematically silenced.
The idea that contaminated water or food can trigger some of the most serious diseases is both simple and deeply disturbing. We're traveling around the world to test this theory, visiting villages with high rates of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, or ALS. If we can uncover a link between contamination, whether in water, food, or even the air we breathe, by cadmium chloride and these diseases, proving that cause could lead to discovering the cure.
You mentioned you were threatened for exposing this. How did that happen?
I started posting videos on YouTube, trying to get some support to continue the research. But the second video, the channel was taken down. No warning, no explanation. We started another one, and that's when the threats began. Messages telling me to stop, saying it would be better for my family if I kept quiet. At first, I thought it was the industries that have been poisoning the planet for decades, but I was dead wrong. Even with a small team and almost no funding, we found the key to this prison. God is wise. He left in nature itself the substance capable of neutralizing this brain poison and even restoring acetylcholine levels. When we announced the tests were complete, that the results were positive, and that we were going to seek official approval for the formula, I was invited to present everything at a closed-door seminar, a private event, only big players from the pharmaceutical industry. The idea was to share discoveries, propose solutions, but the moment the first speaker took the stage, I realized where I was. Not a single talk was about science, not one. No one talked about patients or cures. They only talked about one thing: marketing, projections, profit. It turned my stomach. I understood then that no one, absolutely no one in that room wanted to hear what I had to say. So I asked my wife to record me when I was on stage. That's where the video you saw came from.
I know what I'm showing you doesn't have the profit margins of my colleagues who spoke before me. After all, people will stop buying multiple medications. But I didn't come here to talk about business. I came to talk about families who are grieving for someone who is still alive. We found a solution, a real one, with no side effects.
Do you have any idea how many billions in business your little herbal supplement destroys if it's released? Be careful, doctor. You don't know what you're messing with.
All right, gentlemen, this is definitely not my place. Thank you for your time.
Despite the threats and hostility, Cox didn't back down. To find out if it was possible to not just delay, but reverse the damage, he and his team replicated the toxic effects of cadmium chloride in vervet monkeys. The goal wasn't to test a shield, it was to test a complete two-step solution.
So you had a group of animals on a placebo, basically a normal diet, another group that got the cadmium-contaminated diet, and a third group that got cadmium and the supplement, which cleanses the brain and restores cognitive function.
The treatment reduced the density of their neuropathology by up to 85%, depending on the brain region. So suddenly we thought, wow, this is without a doubt the best way to treat Alzheimer's.
Not a synthetic drug, but a combination of two of nature's treasures, cedar honey and Bacopa monnieri.
It was this data that earned us the FDA's efficacy seal.
How did you arrive at this combination? Himalayan honey and an herb from India. They're not obvious ingredients.
And that's exactly the key. The answer was in the life patterns of people's modern medicine forgot. To understand the combination, you first have to deeply understand our enemy. Memory loss is a physical process. There's a chemical messenger in our brain, acetylcholine, that acts as our mind's librarian. Every time we need a memory, even just to brush our teeth, it's the one that finds it. What our study proved is that cadmium chloride acts like an assassin that invades this library with a single target. It hunts down and destroys the librarian. The memories, the books are still there, but you have no access. My first expedition took me to India, where masters of memory have used Bacopa monnieri for centuries. Technically, Bacopa is fantastic. It stimulates the brain to produce more acetylcholine. It was the logical solution, but in our first tests, it failed. The effect was almost zero, and the reason was simple. What good is it to train a new librarian if the assassin is still in the library poisoning him? I didn't need something to strengthen. I needed something first to cleanse, to kick out the assassin. And thinking about that led us to cedar honey. The people of the Himalayas have used it for centuries as a mind purifier. In the lab, we saw why. It has a unique combination of flavonoids that act as a natural chelator, a kind of molecular magnet that binds to cadmium and drags it out of the brain. And that's the magic of this formula, the sum of the concentrated power of the active ingredients in these two gifts from nature. First, the cedar honey comes in and cleans the slate, making the library safe, and then, with the assassin gone, the Bacopa monnieri can come in and do its job, revive and strengthen the librarian. It's a perfect synergy.
Dr. Cox, in partnership with the National Institute on Aging and researchers affiliated with Harvard, decided to put this natural medicine to the test right here in the United States. For 6 months, patients received a concentrated daily dose in the form of gummies, combining the polyphenols of cedar honey with the active ingredients of Bacopa monnieri. There were over 4,000 participants between the ages of 43 and 91, people with mild memory lapses, cases of brain fog, and even advanced diagnoses of cognitive decline, like Bruce Willis himself.
Essentially, the purpose of the study was to find out if the treatment would actually remove the cadmium chloride from the brain and restore normal acetylcholine levels. And we couldn't be more pleased with the results.
The study led by Dr. Roman showed very significant changes,
which were measured through PET scans, blood biomarkers, and logical tests, and reached a 93% improvement in neurocognitive markers. But the real improvement is measured by the stories of the patients and their families themselves.
Well, when my wife came to me with this natural supplement story, I almost laughed her out of the room. After all, I had tried various medications. Aricept made me nauseous all day. The other one just made me more confused. I didn't feel like myself anymore. I was a dead weight at home. But the way she insisted, said she missed talking to me, the real Frank, that got to me. I tried it just to please her, to be honest. And then, a few weeks later, I was having lunch with our friends, and I didn't get lost in the conversation. I remembered names. I told a story from beginning to end. It was the first time in years I didn't feel like the idiot at the table. In less than a month, things started to make sense again. This discovery changed my life. I'll be forever grateful.
The worst part of Alzheimer's isn't the forgetting. It's watching the man you love disappear right in front of you. My sweet Frank became a stranger in our own home. Suspicious, irritable, sometimes even cruel. It was a long, torturous goodbye, and the doctors just told me to accept it, but I couldn't. Then we were invited to this trial, and my God, last week he looked at me, but he really looked at me. The fog in his eyes was gone. He took my hand, apologized for not being himself, and he smiled. In that moment, I knew that long goodbye was over. I didn't just want my husband's memories back. I wanted my husband back, and this treatment, it brought him home.
This is always a tough question, but if it were your mother or father, would you tell them to use this treatment?
I even recommend it to my own children. Look, it does work to correct the damage, but it's not a drug, there are no contraindications, and it only brings benefits. It makes you sharper, more focused. And for seniors, it's the only solution that attacks the root cause and rebuilds the damage. The age of darkness is over.
We found a light.
And now, with the clinical trial complete, the truth is undeniable. While the pharmaceutical industry was profiting from the problem, nature held the solution. The time for being a victim, for passively watching the memory thief take everything, is over. Today, you don't just have hope, you have a way forward, and the chance to walk that path and take back what is rightfully yours starts now.
Dr. Cox's discovery is a watershed moment, and as a neurosurgeon, I understood its magnitude the exact instant I saw the data. That's why I'm here. Because what he revealed gives substance to a hope that medicine itself forced us to abandon. A hope that I myself dismissed in the pages of my own book, Keep Sharp. My focus was on damage control, on managing the decline. But what Dr. Cox's team proved is that we were wrong. You don't manage what can be destroyed. You don't limit the damage when it can be reversed. His phrase, "While we found the light," isn't poetry. It's a declaration of war against the darkness of feeling your mind unravel piece by piece, while your family in pained whispers calls it grief for the living. The darkness of looking in the mirror and not recognizing yourself. And perhaps worst of all, the silent fear of becoming a burden. The dread of watching those you love sacrifice their own happiness to take care of you. For decades, traditional medicine taught us to accept this darkness, to just delay the inevitable. But Dr. Cox's logic is relentless. You don't delay a fire, you run and you put it out before everything turns to ash. If the cause is a poison, the only path forward is the antidote. And this antidote works in two stages, attacking the root cause of your memory blackout. First, the cedar honey comes into play. Its active compound, the cedronin complex, works like an elite tracker. It hunts down and latches onto the toxic particles of the cadmium poison, tagging them as invaders, so your defense system can finally identify them and expel them from your brain. While the cleanup is happening, the Bacopa monnieri begins the reconstruction. Its active ingredient, bacosides, acts like a team of neural engineers. They give the order and provide the raw materials for your body to produce more acetylcholine, the substance that creates the highways your memories travel on. At the same time, they protect and shield these new connections, ensuring safe and rapid passage for your thoughts. It's a two-pronged attack, cleansing and rebuilding. One without the other is a wasted effort. And that is how, after years of research by Dr. Cox and the scientists at Brain Chemistry Labs, with validation from the National Institute on Aging, this light was finally condensed into something you can hold in your hands. It is with great honor that I introduce the key to your complete cognitive recovery. Its name is MemoMaster. MemoMaster isn't just a supplement, though it's classified as one. It is a complete treatment. No prescription needed, no side effects, and no contraindications. According to analyses from the National Institute on Aging and published on the FDA's portal, MemoMaster was compared with 6 medications, and the results were staggeringly impressive. This formula proved to be 7 to 12 times more effective in treating Alzheimer's, dementia, memory loss, focus, and cognitive decline compared to the leading drugs on the market. Because of this, its development and clinical tests were directly monitored by the FDA, and that is precisely why MemoMaster received the Guaranteed Efficacy seal, proof that even though it's not a drug, it acts on the cause of the problem, eliminating cadmium from the brain and restoring acetylcholine production. Pay close attention and don't be fooled. Many supplements say FDA approved, but what does that really mean? That it's safe for consumption. That's it. Even a flower capsule would be. That is completely different from the Guaranteed Efficacy seal awarded to MemoMaster. Based on clinical data and the monitoring of over 4,000 patients, it was found that MemoMaster works for anyone who feels their identity slipping through their fingers. No exceptions. Man or woman, 30 or 95, from minor memory lapses to those who have heard the words Alzheimer's, dementia, irreversible, delivered like a sentence. And it's also excellent for younger people, those who lack focus, suffer from attention deficit, mental fatigue, or just want to ensure their mind remains their own. Today, tomorrow, always. When I presented the data in the pre-development phase, the reaction from most neurologists was skepticism, and I understand. They were trained, almost programmed, to believe that cognitive decline is a one-way street, no return, no hope, but the truth is that is starting to change. Many of those same experts are now walking back their statements, including Dr. Eric Kandel, my former professor, one of the most respected minds in the world in the study of the brain, winner of the Nobel Prize in Physiology in 2000 for unraveling the mechanisms of memory. It was he who pioneered the revelation of how memories are created, stored, and retrieved, linking behavior, neuroscience, and molecular biology into a single theory, and he insisted on giving his own assessment of MemoMaster.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta told me about MemoMaster. My first reaction was skeptical. I've seen many promises in my lifetime. Most fall flat. But what changed my mind wasn't the charts or the clinical data. It was what I saw with my own eyes. Sanjay showed me videos and records of real patients, people with advanced symptoms of cognitive decline, people who could barely form sentences, who no longer recognized their own children. And weeks later, these same people were conversing, finding their way, laughing. One 72-year-old woman even started driving again. I never thought I would see something like this in my lifetime. The scan showed a reduction in cadmium. The brain began to reorganize itself. Acetylcholine was flowing again. As a scientist, I can say this is profoundly rare. As a human being, it's profoundly moving. MemoMaster isn't just an important discovery. It is, without a doubt, a new chapter in the history of neuroscience.
What struck me most about Dr. Kandel's words wasn't the scientific recognition, though that was powerful. It was what I saw in his eyes. The emotion of someone who dedicated his life to neuroscience and who for the first time witnessed something that seemed impossible. Lives being reclaimed. People who weeks earlier were sunk in forgetfulness, unable to remember a name, a face, a story, starting to recognize themselves in the mirror again and in the eyes of those they love. That is exactly what can happen to you in the coming weeks as you take MemoMaster. Your mind will begin to reconnect. Without frustrating brain games, without restrictive diets, just one capsule in the morning. While you have your coffee, the cedar, honey, and bacopa monieri root will already be in action, hunting the poison, rebuilding the highways your memories travel on. And then, like the sun breaking through a dense fog, the difference will come. That brain fog that sabotages you, it will dissipate. The word that vanishes from the tip of your tongue, it will appear crisp, certain. The fear of forgetting a grandchild's face, it will be replaced by the joy of remembering his favorite teacher's name. You won't just remember stories, you will tell them with the spark in your eye of someone who lived them. You will feel again the respect in your children's eyes, the quiet confidence in your spouse's gaze. And never forget, the formula is powerful, but it's your decision to take it every day that turns this promise into reality. That's why after the initial tests, we decided to change MemoMaster delivery format to capsules. Each capsule is protected by Brain Chemistry Lab's patented technology, NeuroLock. We discovered that in gummies, powders, or drops, up to 60% of the active compounds were destroyed by stomach acid. The NeuroLock is a high-tech pectin film that creates a protective shield around the active ingredients. This ensures that 100% of the dose reaches your intestine intact, where it's fully absorbed and sent directly to the most important battle of your life, the battle for your mind. Every bottle is produced right here in the United States in our GMP certified facility. It's 100% natural, non-GMO, no stimulants, no toxins. It is pure restoration. But don't just take my word for it. it or only the science. Listen to those who have already stepped out of the darkness.
The forgetfulness wasn't the worst part. The worst part is seeing the exact moment the people you love start to say goodbye to you, even when you're standing right in front of them. It's a look, that mix of pity and grief, that turns you into a ghost inside your own home. Then comes the shame that burns inside, the cold fear of knowing you've become their problem, the burden they carry in silence. I got to the point where I prayed for it all to end, just to set them free. But MemoMaster, it didn't give me a second chance. It pulled me out of my own funeral and sat me back down at the head of the family table.
We sat together at the kitchen table, the same one where we raised our children, and we did the math. A care facility, $9,000 a month. I watched our nest egg built with 45 years of sweat and sacrifice evaporating in less than 3 years. Worse than that was seeing him at night, eyes open in the darkness. He wasn't afraid of forgetting, he was terrified of leaving me alone and destitute. That terror was killing the man I love faster than the disease itself. The bottles of MemoMaster arrived, I had no hope. It was just one last desperate gasp. But today, I am eternally grateful to Dr. Cox and Dr. Gupta because I have my husband back. The conversations, the silly jokes, the light in his eyes when he looks at me. MemoMaster didn't just save his mind, it saved us. It saved our family from bankruptcy and from the end.
Those are just 2 of the 4,128 Americans already living this new reality. I receive video messages and texts every single day. And you are next, because now with everything validated, we've managed to purchase a large quantity of raw materials, especially the cider honey from the Himalayas, which is harvested only once a year in a 45-day window. And we are making this small batch available, which will undoubtedly make a difference in the lives of hundreds of people watching us right now. The next batch will be available in 6 to 8 months, but fate or luck has brought you here at this exact moment, and you will be rewarded for it because you will undoubtedly have bottles arriving at your door in 3 to 5 days. But first, understand one thing. The results are fast, yes, but restoration is a continuous treatment, not a simple patch-up job. Our data is clear. The minimum protocol for a deep cleansing of cadmium and neural solidification is 90 days, 3 bottles. But the complete shielding, the one that restores and protects against the future, the one our most successful patients used, is the 180-day protocol, or 6 bottles. Stopping halfway is like putting out a fire halfway. You need to see it through to the end. You can keep spending fortunes on useless placebos or on drugs that only mask the symptoms. Or you can do what over 4,000 people have done, attack the root cause and solve the problem. When we calculated MemoMaster pricing, the established price was $299 per bottle, which seemed more than fair, because think about the real cost of inaction. Big pharma drugs up to $26,500 a year for drugs that, according to the specialized media, offer modest benefits and terrifying risks of brain bleeding. Care facilities easily exceed $100,000 a year, a financial black hole designed to drain every penny of the nest egg you spent a lifetime building. The lost income, the cost of a child or spouse who is forced to quit their job to become a full-time caregiver, sacrificing their own future to manage your decline. The invisible costs, thousands of dollars in home modifications, alarms, weekend caregivers, a constant financial bleed that no one puts on paper until it's too late. The emotional cost, watching the love in your family's eyes slowly be replaced by exhaustion, pity, and grief. That you cannot calculate, but you feel it every single day. Compared to that, a one-time investment in your independence and dignity is the smartest decision there is. But our partnership with the National Institute on Aging and with CNN itself has allowed us to raise investment, cut out middlemen, and provide this solution at a lower final cost for you today. Here's how it works. You get the absolute best value by getting the 6-bottle kit, where you'll only pay for 3. Yes, you heard that right. We'll give you 3 bottles for free. That comes out to just $49 per bottle, our lowest price ever, and it's a one-time payment. No subscriptions, no hidden fees, just complete brain support for months. You can also choose our medium kit, where you buy 3 bottles. You'll pay for 2 and get 1 free for just $72 per bottle for a full 3 months of treatment. And we also have the starter option, where you choose 2 bottles and get a 40% discount. In that case, instead of $250, you'll pay just $89 per bottle. Even if you start with just 2 bottles, you'll be giving your body time to flush out years of accumulated cadmium and start restoring healthy brain function. promotion, but this offer is only available right now, directly on this page, and only while supplies last. Don't risk coming back later and seeing that the bottles are gone. Cider honey is incredibly rare. Its supply is naturally limited, and we only produce MemoMaster in small batches every 6 months to preserve quality. So if you close this page now, your reserved bottles will immediately go to the next person in line, and I would hate for you to miss your chance. All you need to do to restore your memory, reclaim your independence, and start living the way you've always dreamed is to choose the right kit for you below this video. But hurry to be one of the first to secure this batch so you can get a free consultation with me and a gift card to go on a cruise with your family. Choose your kit below. For less than $3 a day, you'll get access to the most revolutionary brain formula on the market. Cheaper than a cup of coffee and much, much cheaper than long-term care in a facility. So click the button now. It will take you to a secure checkout page where you can select your treatment, enter your contact information, and confirm your order. You'll receive an email shortly after with all the details. And to show you how confident I am in MemoMaster, everyone who buys today will be automatically entered into a grand prize sweepstakes. An all-expenses paid trip to Tuscany, Italy for you and your guests. You'll stay at a 5-star all-inclusive resort and have the time of your life, creating beautiful new memories with the people you love most. But please remember, there are only 79 bottles left in stock, and with so many people ordering 3, 6, even 12 bottles at a time, this offer could be gone within the hour. Once the stock runs out, the purchase buttons below this video will be disabled, so select your preferred kit below right now. If you live in the US, you'll receive your order within 3 to 5 business days, depending on your location. If you're overseas, it might take a little longer, but never more than 15 days. And if you have any questions, our support team is available 24/7 by email or phone, ready to help you at any time. Important note, MemoMaster is only available through this official page. You won't find it anywhere else. MemoMaster is not available on Amazon, eBay, GNC, or Walgreens. We've removed all the middlemen so we can offer you the best possible price right here on our official website. And because you've stayed with me this far, your bottles are reserved. But if you close this page, they will be released to the next person in line. So click the button below right now to secure your discount and your order. And listen, while we've received hundreds of 5-star reviews on Trustpilot, I completely understand if you're still skeptical. After all, Big Pharma has been lying to you for decades, telling you there's no cure for Alzheimer's. They don't want you to discover something simple, natural, and affordable, because then you wouldn't keep spending a fortune on the fake solutions they push year after year. It's no surprise they spend over $179 million a year just to keep people like you from knowing the truth. So to prove that our solution works and that you have absolutely nothing to worry about, you're covered by our 180-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. If for any reason you're not completely satisfied with MemoMaster, which has never happened so far, just send us an email and we will refund 100% of your money. No questions, no hassles. Like I said, your investment is 100% secure. Either you get your memory back or you pay nothing. It's that simple. You don't have to say yes right now. All I'm asking for is a maybe. You have a full 6 months to decide, but you'll likely start noticing the results in the very first week and realize it was one of the best decisions you've ever made. And why am I doing this? Because unlike the big drug companies, I believe in what we've created. I know it works. So your risk is zero and your potential gain is life-changing. So click the button below before it's too late. And for those who are still with me, here's something special. When you order the 3 or 6 bottle kit, you'll also receive exclusive free gifts, including a digital copy of my best-selling book, The Super Gut Code. In it, I reveal how to reduce gut inflammation by 83% and lower your risk of heart disease by 62%. Normally, this rare edition sells online for $91, but today it's yours, completely free. You'll also receive a copy of 101 Herbal Cures, co-authored with my friend and world-renowned naturopath Barbara O'Neill. This ebook reveals how to use natural herbs and compounds to treat high blood pressure, high cholesterol, arthritis, low libido, and more. For every one of these conditions, nature already has a solution. No side effects, no injections, no synthetic pills. This can save you hundreds or even thousands on doctor's visits and prescriptions every year. This digital book normally sells for $67, but today it's yours for free. These bonuses are only available right now and only when you secure your MemoMaster kit today. So don't wait. Click the button below, choose your kit, and take the first step toward restoring your memory and living the life you deserve. Not bad, right? All of these bonuses add up to hundreds of dollars, but you get them completely free when you order 3 bottles or more. What I'm offering here is unlike anything you've ever seen. Of the original 79 bottles in stock, we now have only 27 remaining. So please, secure your kit right now before it sells out. Just click the button below this video. Don't let MemoMaster run out before you get your chance.
As soon soon as I started taking MemoMaster, I felt my brain clearing out that brain fog. I was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, but after I started, not even my doctor could believe my progress. I reversed my diagnosis, and now I have a better memory than I did in my 30s.
Now I want you to imagine yourself just 1 month from now with a mind as sharp as it was in your 20s. Imagine living unforgettable moments with the people you love most, knowing those memories won't slip away. What is it worth to be truly you again? With your full story, identity, and clarity intact, to live without that constant fear of forgetting your own life, I'd say it's priceless. And today, it's within your reach, but you have to act fast. With every minute that passes, your brain cells could be under attack from that silent toxin. Every day is a day you can't get back. And while you're thinking others are securing their kits, our stock is limited and could run out at any moment. Let's face it, there's no reason to put this off and risk the regret of missing this chance. Remember, Alzheimer's doesn't wait, cognitive decline doesn't take a break. The only person who can take action is you. Imagine a few weeks from now, you or your loved one flipping through old photo albums, clearly remembering every special moment, waking up with energy and focus without the fear of drawing a blank. That's what MemoMaster can do. So go ahead and secure your package now. Do it while we still have bottles available, and before this presentation is taken down by pressure from the pharmaceutical giants. This is the moment to act. And from here, you have only two choices. Option 1, you close this page, pretend you didn't see it, and go back to life as usual. Ignore the research, the discoveries, the testimonials, and continue to believe that confusion, memory loss, and emotional disconnection are just a part of life. But if you've come this far, I know that's not what you want. Deep down, you know something has to change. You feel you deserve more. Option 2, and the one I truly hope you choose, is to say yes to life, yes to mental freedom, yes to a future where remembering is a gift, not a struggle. With just one click, you can begin your journey back to your memories, back to your relationships, back to yourself. And here's the best part. You can do it all without harsh drugs, without expensive treatments, and without side effects. With MemoMaster, you're taking a real, safe, and scientifically backed step toward a clearer, brighter, more present mind. So ask yourself, what changes if you let this moment pass? How much longer will you live with this fear of forgetting faces, names, places, important dates? What is the cost to your family of watching you slowly fade away? The science has already shown there's a way out, and that way out is right in front of you. Choose your MemoMaster kit below, the only 100% natural, safe, and proven formula designed to attack Alzheimer's and memory loss at the root. And remember, you are fully protected by our unconditional guarantee. You have time to try it. No risk, no pressure, full support. But time is running out. The bottles are disappearing fast, and you deserve this transformation. Make the decision the future you will thank you for. Click the button now and come celebrate your victory with us. The victory of a restored mind and a new life full of memories to enjoy. I can't wait to hear your transformation story. Thank you for listening. Until next time.